Hello, good evening, everybody. Well, as promised, and this is a video to show you about how to create joins between or among different tables. And this is going to be a practical example about how to do so. And also, I would like to include a couple of more things that I did not mention during the class. Unfortunately, it took me a while to explain some things. However, next class, we'll take advantage of the tool and also explain a little bit further. So let's get it started. So in this case, I'll create a new dashboard. This time around, I'll use this one that is called Taleo Recurring Dataset. So I click on the vertical dots there, and I click on Create Workbook. Okay, from here, it's going to open a new canvas where actually I'll be able to drag and drop the different dimensions for this particular data set and be able to create different visualizations. However, as I just did it before, currently I only have one data set, but I would like to include a new data set that actually is related to this one, and I would like to make sure that those are related. So it's rendering, currently it's loading the data, so it may take a while, unfortunately, because my laptop is really slow, but as you can see now it is included. Well, guess what? We have two options. The first one is if we click on the top right corner plus sign, we will be able to include another data set. For instance, click plus sign, add data. And this one is going to ask us whether we would like to add a brand new data set or use an existing one. This time around, I'm sure that I already have it. So this time around, I won't select upload or create data set. I'll use the one that I already have. So I'll select it, add to workbook. Now that it is, once that it is added, well, this time around, for sure, those are related. Why? Because I had created this data set before. However, let's assume that those are not related up to this point. So let's, in order to create joins among them or between them, at the very top, please click on data. Within data, it's going to open a new pane that actually creates, shows us a diagram. So let me remove this. I'll remove them all just for the sake of this presentation and show you from scratch. So this time around, it's going to let us know that those data sets are not related. It's going to let us know, you know what? You have to separate data sets. Most probably those belong to different data. So, however, we know that those are related and we would like to create a relationship among them. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, now this is how we would look if those are not related. As you can see in the left-hand side, it showed two different kind of, the data sets but split by a line and also with the My Calculations folder. So in the past, they'll just be in the same spot, in the same frame, but this time around, those are split because I removed the relationships. So in order, I uploaded the new data set that it appears in the left-hand side, and now I would like to relate it to the other. So let's click on data, and within data now, it would show the two data sets but split it. If you hook over into one of the data sets, a new icon would appear in the middle with a 0. Left click over it, and it would allow you to create a new match. How can we add a new match? Just click on add another match. And within here, let's make sure that we find some related dimensions. Remember that facts is not suggested to create relationships among them for the nature that those can be totally different, right? And also our facts, right, are nothing but numbers. However, every single let's say dimension can be matched as long as it is in both data sets. In this time around, let's go from general to specific. So the highest level of this, I can see that is nothing but the country. So let's click on country, and from country, let's make sure that it actually appears in the other data set. Actually, it does. Country name. Well, I created the first relationship. So let's repeat the same exercise for other dimensions by clicking. Let me remove that. I went too fast. So let's click on add another match. Let's select it and let's look for another fact. By the nature of this, automatically we'll get rid of the country name. Why? Because it was already chosen, right? So this is a great thing about this. The second option that I may suggest you go through, it's business unit name. Business unit name, it's another powerful connection that we may create among between two data sets. So business unit name, let's add another match. Most probably we may have all their hierarchies related. For instance, let's choose region. I'm pretty much sure that region may appear in both. Let's choose region. Let's go for another match. Let's choose, let's say, city name, which is lower hierarchy from region. Let's go whether we have it here, city name. There we go. Now let's include another match. Let's choose, let's say, I don't know, maybe, let me see whether this thing is being recorded. I don't want any trouble in here. So, let me see whether it's being recorded. Yeah, it's been recorded. Fantastic. Okay, the other one will be, let's say, state province. I am pretty much sure that it will appear in both. State province. Let's include maybe submission source BL, submission source BL. Let's include one more. Historical reference status name, I don't think would be a good one. But what about ethnicity? Most probably will be appearing both. Ethnicity, here we go. Other that may be really good in case we had it in both would be employee number. But I don't think it would appear in this in the left-hand side menu. Current status, maybe genre or gender. Sorry, gender. And I think those are pretty much it. I think those would be kind of 10 or so. Now, I'm pretty much sure that those are related. Just let's wait for a couple of seconds till it finish rendering. I think we can include a couple of more. As far as I remember, those were 10. So let's see what may be missing here. Let's include another match. Oh, here we go. Let's include, not sure whether stage, status, or current status. Let's see. Actually, we can type here. So let's type status. Actually, we have status, current status. Select current status from this side. And last but not least, status only, which I think those are all the data set, all the dimensions that we have in the left-hand side. So let's click on status. Status. Let's status. Also, we also have race. We have status. Here we go. And what last would be race. You may wonder why so many relationships. Well, as more relationships we include, as the better. Why? Because that means we're going to have the data kind of better segregated, and we'll make sure that each time we drag and drop a fact, it would be segregated against any of this. Let's try one more. Stage, maybe stage it's in the other as well. Let's take a look. I don't think stage is here, so don't worry. We can remove it by clicking on the cross at the right-hand side. Now that all dimensions are there, I'm sorry, all relationships are there, let's click on OK, and let's make sure that everything renders fine. Just a second, please. Or maybe a couple, actually. Here we go. Now we can see that it changed the 0 for 11. That means that we have 11 relationships between our data sets. Now let's click on visualize and let's see the difference. In the past, we used to have a line in the middle and two folders for my calculations. Guess what? This time around, we only have, we don't have any division, and we have the two data sets into the one visualization. Something that I don't remember whether I explained in class because it was too fast is there are a couple of things. The first thing, well, you can drag and drop, right? A visualization here and include some values within, for instance, number of openings. Let's include that one into values. Actually, they included it into colors. I don't know why, but anyways, it's part of the growing pains. Number of openings. What do you think if we include it per, let's say gender or gender? We will have two, three actually, male, female, and any other. Actually, let's include, rather than that, let's include current status. And we can see that the chart, well, actually everything is filled out. This is not accurate. Let's include status. Okay, here we go. What if we want to have, okay, we have, this is empty, this is refused, and this is accepted. What if I want to have it by, let's say, by region, right? Let's color it based on region, and it would create a different color depending upon what region we are at. Guess what? This one doesn't look good. What if we choose a stack bar rather than a horizontal bar? Guess what? It's gonna appear the 4 different charts that we had, but this time around it's gonna include colors along the way. This is one of the things I wanted to explain to you. The other thing is that you can include as many tabs as you may want. Actually, there's a limit, but just wanted to let you know. You can rename it if you wanted to. For instance, rename, you can change it for overview, right? This would be one. And what if we want to include another one? Let's include here. Let me repeat that step. Maybe it wasn't straightforward. Delete canvas. If you click on the little plus sign circled at the bottom, it will include a new tab. Easy peasy, right? So now we can rename by either double typing there, for instance, detail view, or simply right click over it and click on rename. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, we can include filters at the very top. Based on any of the facts, the dimensions that we've chosen, we can include them as a filter. So in order to do so, you can either drag and drop at the top, just like that. And guess what? You can now filter against any particular dimension that you might have chosen without requiring to perform any further steps. For instance, you can choose Lafayette, Lagrange, Little Rock, and so on and so forth, right? Depending upon what dimensions or what values I am choosing is how the data will be changing in real time. This is really good. What about if I wanted to include, oh my, remind me tomorrow, please. In everywhere, what if I want to include city? You can do the same by either dragging and dropping, or you can click on the plus sign that is enabled once that you hook over to that particular frame. Let's click there, and it's gonna allow you to choose your facts, your dimensions, depending upon what you're choosing. In this case, let's choose department. Guess what? Now it appears my department, so on and so forth. So I believe this is the remaining thing that I had on pending, how to create joins among between different data sets and so on, and also how to include filters at the very top. Actually, those are prompts, not filters. Filters is something quite different, but it's something I showed you later on. So well, hopefully it clarifies any concern you may have. I'll share this video with all of you just in a moment, and feel free to email me or ask me any questions. Do you have any trouble with it? Actually, I had a session with one of your partners that actually I got them through about how to do a couple of things. So, anyways, thank you very much. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow.